Welcome back. How to breastfeed your baby. Why should you breastfeed your baby? And how to make it all work. Lola Longe is in the house, and you can call with your questions. And if your tweets come in time, they could be treated. So start tweeting. The number to call is 0808-054-2233. That's 0808-054-2233. Call now. Now, you said feed on demand. Okay, that's understandable. But how about the duration of one feed? Should it be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes? And how do you know the breast is empty anyway?
Well, normally before you start breastfeeding, most times you feel the fullness. The breast is going to be quite filled. So when you put the baby to the breast and the baby starts breastfeeding, you'll see it gradually. Like on demand, like we said, for how long, you keep the baby there. And then gradually the milk will be coming out, and then the breast will get lighter. And when you can see, that must have been like maybe like 15 minutes thereabout. You would notice it's like really, really empty. And then the other one, which is going to be heavy, you put the baby to the other one and make sure the baby feeds and empties that one too. And then you can now gradually leave the baby and let the baby actually relax a little. And the baby still wants to eat, you put the baby to
continue
again. Yeah.
Let's take this call from David. Hello, David. Hello, David. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, David. Nice for a man to call in. What's your question?
Yes, actually, my question is, when my wife gave birth to my son, she finds it very difficult. Her breast was not lactating. So we use both the octodose and the unorthodox. So eventually, we have to go for the normal bottle feed. So my question is, what can cause why the breast of a woman is not lactating? Is it natural? And when it happens, what is the remedy? Because actually, I'm even telling her that I don't like this experience. Anytime we want to have our second birth, maybe she has to go to my grandma because people are saying, oh, maybe you have used the traditional way. This Oyinbo stuff is not working, stuff like that. And these are our first time. So,
thank you, David. You made your point. Good to call.
Yeah, that's the support.
She's not making milk. Why isn't she making milk? Is it normal?
Yeah, maybe we'll start with positioning and attaching, because that's the kind of skill we keep on teaching. Is the baby properly is the baby latching onto the areola properly, or it's just the nipple? Then you're talking about probably, okay, maybe the milk is not coming out. I think it starts with things like, at times they even say you could even use like a warm towel and put it on the breast to kind of massage it a little so that it helps the milk to flow easily. And then when you put the baby to breast regularly, put the baby to breast more often, let me put it like that. And then you see the breast milk is likely. Then of course, fluids. They say always take enough fluids, take pap, take tea.
But how about if it doesn't come in time? She's just had this baby and they say let the baby latch on. One day has passed. And she's just seeing only yellow stuff, or maybe it's not even coming out. What's the mother to do?
I think they advise most times, like I said, apart from trying to massage it and put the warm towel around it to bring out the milk, it's to just keep on leaving that baby, putting the baby to
so
the
she just has to be determined.
Yes, she should keep trying, and don't just get it's not coming out. Be patient.
But are there some people who can't breastfeed, whose babies react to their milk?
No, I don't think any baby reacts to any milk, apart from those who will give excuse, or maybe the baby. Well, we have some exceptional cases. For
like
example,
a hormonal problem, maybe.
Really, for people like for some women who have some other health problems, like maybe they're on chemotherapy, or maybe like they're taking like some sedating drugs. There's or some of them that are even like some take a lot of alcohol. They advise just don't bother to breastfeed this child.
Okay, let's hold that thought. We have a call coming in. Hello. I think we've lost the call. Have we lost the call? We'll get back to that. All right, so you were saying...
Yeah, that's the mothers, because of their own health issues.
Of maybe the health.
Yeah, or the medication
that they are taking.
Will not be able to breastfeed, and such mothers are advised to take formula.
But apart from that, you're saying that every mother should be able to breastfeed her child. Every child should love breast milk.
Yes, they should be able to breastfeed with determination.
When a baby is breastfeeding, what else do you give the baby? Water?
Vitamins? Like the campaign. When we say, that's why at times we say, oh, breastfeeding. It's not just breastfeeding, but we're talking about exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. And that means without water, without any other sort of formula, or they call another agbo or something like that, apart from maybe some maybe a kind of medication from the doctor for the baby. And then I know a lot of mothers who will say, oh, there's no way we can breastfeed without giving water. The
Yes,
baby will be
grandma
thirsty.
may say give breast milk, but don't give water. Your doctor must be wrong.
Yes.
So please help,
We need
help
to
grandma
emphasize that
understand.
aspect of water. We know some will say, oh, the baby, it's so sunny, it's so hot. But the issue is the breast milk contains 80% of water. And then when you start breastfeeding, the first liquid that comes out is kind of watery. That's like, actually like the water.
Is that
and
in
then,
every feed?
Yes. Each time you try to breastfeed your baby and you put the baby to breast, the first thing that comes out is a little bit watery. And that's like, for the test, I must say. And then gradually the thicker one comes out. So that has actually helped with that aspect of water. And the issue we're trying to make is that when you give water to the baby's stomach is very small. By the time you fill the baby's stomach half with water and you want to give breast milk, you're not giving the baby enough. And then when you keep on giving the baby water at times, you're not sure of the quality of water you're giving that child. That is what we normally call infection, diarrhea, and things like that. So when you trust and just do the excessive breastfeeding, you are sure that baby is not likely to have diarrhea often, not likely to get any contamination. And that's why we say exclusive breastfeeding is okay and the baby will not feel thirsty.
Some women say they have inverted nipples, so there's nothing to latch on to. What's your take on that?
I think people, yes, there are issues like that, but I think you still need to just try and position that baby properly, such that the areola is in the baby's mouth, and the baby's mouth is wide open, and then gradually you still try to make sure that baby is fed.
Okay, there are other questions, but let's quickly, because we may not have all that time, let's quickly go to what can families do to make it work for a working mother.
That's why I like the theme for this year, breastfeeding and work. Well, let's make it work. It starts with the home. How are we going to help most breastfeeding mothers? After that, a lot of them have the intention or they are determined, okay, I need to breastfeed this baby. But you see a lot of them, after a month or two, they just have to stop because a lot of issues surrounding them, nobody is there to support them. And it starts from the home. What is the role of the family members? Are they there to actually help them with the housework? A lot of them say, oh, I even have some older babies, the housework, nobody's there, it's so stressful. Yes, that's when the family comes in. They must help them with the family, with the housework and with the other children. And then the father, I'm happy men are actually getting more interested in breastfeeding now. They should help the woman too. She should not be under pressure to get back to work and make money. They should, for that period of 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding, they should make sure they provide enough for the woman so that at least she can relax at home and breastfeed the baby properly. And then, of course, when they are around too, they should support the woman with housework, with the other children and all that. Yes, we need to
hear that, man, housework.
At least, if you want her to do what is good for your child, please support her. Then we move to the community, sort of. The community should also support breastfeeding mothers. They should not look down on them if they have to breastfeed in public places. For example, if you say actually breastfeeding, she has to go shopping. If she has to stay somewhere and just breastfeed, then encourage her. Don't look down on her. Then, of course, employers, a lot of mothers will stop after 3 months. Why? Because they have to get back to work. That is why we need the support of the employers. We need them to look at how they can extend maternity leave, 5 months, 6 months, paid maternity leave. We need a situation where they can make them maybe close early. We need a situation where they can give them.
Don't you think
break.
that will affect the economy?
No, because let me give an example. There was Google, that's the online giant organization, who actually tested it and decided to give the mothers 5 months maternity leave. And they realized paid maternity leave, and they realized they had reduction in the number of mothers who would have stopped for 50% reduction, which means they were able to now have more male and females in their sets, in their organization. And of course, we say if you empower a woman, she would bring all her income back to the home and help the family and develop the nation as a whole. So it's not really like, if you look at the long term and you see it as an investment for the child and for the whole nation, I think it is worth giving them that paid maternity leave.
Okay, we're getting a call from Benin. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tony. What's your question?
Yeah, Tony from Benin.
I'm calling.
Lovely.
Yes, go on, Tony.
Please, I'd like you to tell the lady to kindly talk slowly, please. She's talking too fast, and we can't really understand her.
Okay, we'll do
hear.
Thank you.
Please,
Thank you. Well,
Thank you,
try
Tony.
go slowly so you can actually absorb everything.
Okay, so earlier on we saw a picture on the screen of a man who was carrying the child. I guess he was trying to wind the child. tell us about winding and why is it, or burping as some people call it, and why is it important?
It's quite ideal because even whatever, either breast milk or any sort of food, after the baby has eaten, it's better to let the baby relax and you wean the child.
Yeah, that's the man and his baby.
Okay, yes, you wean the child a little so that the food can digest properly and the baby won't actually get kind of suffocated because I've heard of it.
So the air is occupying some space in the stomach.
Exactly, so you need to let the baby, at least wean the baby a little and let the baby relax before.
Okay, you spoke about when the baby has latched onto one breast and has fed, then let him rest a bit. Is that what you do when he's resting?
No, after the first feed, maybe after the first breast, let the baby relax a bit, wean the baby a little. Then, if the baby is, maybe for some minutes, then take the baby back and then let the baby latch onto the second breast and then feed the baby with the second breast.
Okay, and then you try and wean the baby again.
Gradually. It's better because I've heard of an experience where a baby actually had to took in so much milk without weaning the baby, and then the milk was like coming out of the mouth, coming out of, it's like really putting in too much without allowing the baby
on the stomach
to digest the milk properly.
Okay, so burping, winding is very important. After 6 months, should the child go on routine vitamins? Since he has stopped exclusive breastfeeding.
What do you mean, routine vitamins,
yes,
like multivitamins?
Yes, for babies.
Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. But you need to, after 6 months, you need to actually feed the baby with, the campaign is only breast milk for 6 months. After breast milk, then you start adding complementary foods, which means the family food, so that the baby can take more, because the baby needs more than the breast milk at that point.
Okay. Let's take this call from Ronke. Hello, Ronke. Are you there?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to make a contribution.
Please do.
We talked about a child that should be exclusive breast milk without giving water to the child. What's the case of ECOP when the child has ECOP and the weather the weather here in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you, Ronke. That's a good one.
Like we have said, issue of where hiccups, water, the traditional thing is give the baby water. But we have also mentioned that the breast milk contains 80% of water, and that the first liquid that comes out is normally very watery. So hiccups, whatever, put that baby to breast and let that baby take the breast milk, and that hiccup would go down. You don't need to think about using water. Like we have said, the disadvantages of water, if you give water, it's going to occupy a lot of space in the baby's stomach. And if you also give water, you're not sure the quality of water you're getting, it could lead to contamination. Okay,
Hadassah has a question right here on Twitter. She says, how do you breastfeed a baby who lost the mother at birth? What do we do with
we know there's a situation where, like, first of all, in some advanced countries, for example, they have the breast milk bank, which we are yet to get that done, which means a lot of mothers can actually get the breast milk. They can get the breast milk from another source, from another mother, from the bank. It's just like
okay,
yeah, and then give
breast milk bank.
Yes,
but they would have tested it.
Obviously sterilized and everything like that,
and
then
great.
They can give it to the baby. But also the issue of nursing mothers, even the grandma can actually feed.
Oh, I wish we had more time. But let's close with this. Frank is saying, my first child on Twitter, my first child who was well breastfed by my wife is a shining star.
Oh,
very strong and intelligent.
I'm very happy about that testimony.
Thank you,
and
Frank.
that goes to show how effective breastfeeding is.
And with that, we have to close. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure being
Thank you for staying with us. Thank you, men. I have to mention David, Tony, Frank. Thank you, Ronke, for calling in. Have a great day. I am Mary Alale Yusuf.